Mr. Chairman and members of the board, thank you for the opportunity to be here today just to give you an update. And certainly,
Commander, could you move a little closer to the mic so the audience could also hear? Thank you.
point that a little better there. That's better. For the newer members of the board, welcome, and this will give me a chance to do a little recap and even just go back over the last 2 years, as Shelley had mentioned, of what we have done, and that'll catch you up to current day, and we'll give you a little, maybe a little forecast of what we're going to do. The Transit Police currently is made up of 58 sworn police officers from 15 different jurisdictions that TriMet travels through. There's about 4 or 5 other agencies that don't participate for various different reasons, but they were all given the opportunity to. And at this current juncture, we're at the 15. When I first took the job, we had 6, so we made a little headway there. And we've also increased the number of officers tremendously, which was a needed piece, and also a piece of foresight, I think, too, into as we draw closer to as we move into the future. So the funding is of course terribly important, and cops are terribly expensive, and that's a fact of life. And I appreciate the board's participation in this. Certainly, Mr. Hansen's looking to the future to see how he wanted TriMet to advance. So we are at a real good place, I think, right now, notwithstanding the ideas that Shelley has put forth that crime is going down on the transit system. I think that's a real testament to the men and women that work there. Very grateful to work with all of those people. But to give you an idea how we do it, it might be helpful, might make sense. The region is divided. I've divided the region up into 4 different reporting areas. Well, one is kind of in the downtown area, which contains the command, my office, and the 2 lieutenants, and also a cadre of 29 people that work out of that office. And their responsibility is basically Central Portland, Central and East, Inner East Portland, North Portland, and some of the inner areas. We have an east side precinct, which is located in Gresham City Hall. Gresham has been an excellent partner with us for a long time, and they have given us the space to have 14 officers and sergeants report out there, so they report right on the line, and they can step right onto the train from there at City Hall. On the west side out here, we're fortunate to have 10 officers and sergeants. We have 7-day-a-week coverage there on the afternoon shift. And I think that really is a testament to the political natures that were out here and are out here that pushed for safety and security concerns that were maybe not being addressed as well as they could be. And because they're housed at the east side of Hillsborough, that it makes it an easy reporting area for them too. They report right in the area that they work, and all of them come from West Side agencies, so they're familiar with not only the geography, but the people that live out here, and the work atmosphere, and the particulars about being on the west side. And finally, the newest addition to our portion of enforcement is the south side, which is housed at Clackamas Town Center. We have a great office there. It's just a fantastic office. I live real close there. I wish I could have my own office there. But we do have 5 people that report there to service the Green Line. We emphasize that they stay within the Clackamas Town Center to Gateway area, even though Green continues all the way downtown, just to patrol those 9 stops and do the business that needs to be done there. But altogether, that makes up the 58 of us, and we're really pleased that our increased presence has had a dramatic, I think, effect on the safety and just kind of the feel of the system as you get on. But there are other factors that go into the reduction, and I just want to note a couple of them that you're probably aware of, but they really make a big difference in my world. The first and probably the most important thing is that by IGA, we, the Transit Police, or Transit Police Lieutenant or Sergeant, or myself, actually sit on the board to select officers to come to the unit. So since we kind of know what it is that we're looking for, and we're in tune with what Shelley wants and what Mr. Hansen needs and what the board really is directing us to do, we have input into the selection process. And kind of concurrent with that, this is viewed, and especially in our long-term partners like Beaverton and Gresham and the Washington County folks. We've had such a great working relationship for a long time that their officers now seek this opportunity out to become part of this, and so they aspire to it. It isn't just another thing that they rotate through, it's something that they have to compete for. That gives us a huge leg up on selecting the people that we want to select, that would be most appropriate. Even to the degree that the synergistic effect is that we have officers who are not assigned to us. Most notably in Beaverton, that spend a lot of time on the system helping us out when we're not around. So I know for a fact that bicycle patrols are always at Beaverton Transit Center. And just engaging people for the issues that they can engage with, enforcing TriMet codes, it's a great tool to keep the line safe. Plus, you just can't put a dollar amount on the fact that a uniform is out there at a bus stop or at the transit center or rolling through the parking garages. Has a very good effect. I think that has been in part responsible for the drawdown of crimes. Another issue that I think is terribly important is the Multnomah County District Attorney's Office has an assigned deputy district attorney in our office, and his name is John Kopic, and he is a relentless prosecutor and has used the law of interfering with public transportation to the advantage of really what it ends up doing is keeping repeat offenders off the line, because we can actually arrest and book into jail, and people get sentenced for things that they shouldn't be doing. Whereas before, the real prosecution of this kind of crime, we would have people on 10, 12, 15 times, creating the same problems and the same calls for service and the same repetitive kind of nature of things that people just really get tired of. And there wasn't much teeth, there weren't too many teeth in trying to keep them off the system. Interfering in public transportation is absolutely wonderful for us from a police perspective, because we are able to keep them off the system. The video cameras. Most recently, TriMet is receiving grants for more cameras and more cameras. I can't understate the importance of video imaging and the fact that if you're doing a crime on a vehicle or on a platform, there's a darn good chance we're going to have a picture of you, and we're also going to be able to identify it and arrest you. And in my world, that's a big thing. But I mean, in the greater good, when you have people that are either have been caught doing that and are knowledgeable now, so they're not going to do that, but they also, or the fact that they think they got away with something because they got away with it that night. Once that perception starts to turn, we have people that actually just come up to the transit center, buy their ticket, wait for the train, get on and ride, and they don't do anything else. And that's exactly what I'm after. It's a nice, safe, secure, calm ride. Do we have a ways to go yet? Yeah, I would say so. We have some work that we can do. But have we made a lot of progress in the last several years? Yes. Partially due to cameras. And also, just so you know, we branch out a little bit in our federal partnerships. TSA is a great partner with our DHS, Department of Homeland Security, partially funds our explosive K-9 unit, which is composed of 3 officers. They work out of the downtown office. And while they are a regional asset, I think they're also a huge asset to transit itself, because TSA, we all think of TSA, or many of us do, as the people that you encounter before you get on an airplane. They're also mandated by federal law for ground mass transportation to keep it safe. And so that's one of the partnerships that we engender and we keep strong, and we have a great team of guys that fill that position. I could keep going. I hope Shelley, I got half an hour stuff. I'll stop, Mr.
I think that gives us a good idea, Commander.